How's it going, Michelle? I have yet to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you via cyberspace.
Yeah, where are you at?
I'm in Bemidji right now. At the moment, I'm at Aurora Wasakone Community of Learners. It's a fairly new charter school that opened a few years ago.
Yes, I don't think I've heard of you guys yet. Well, very nice to meet you. Glad you're here. And Geraldine, of course, hello. So I'm just going to do a really quick introduction on Zoom. Here in the classroom, we are joined by Jack Desjarlait and David Bedeau. Yep. And I'm Rachel Beglin. This is Four Directions Development. We are here in Red Lake with some beautiful seed relatives that I'm so excited to introduce you to. And this is our seed workshop for our Food is Medicine series. And there's a couple of more coming up. We've got Linda Black Elk doing some chest balm here in a little while that you can find on our Facebook. And also Veronica Bratvold is going to teach us how to do blue corn muffins on the 13th. So those will get posted on our Facebook. If you're not on our Facebook yet, it's Gitaganake. And now I'm done talking about all the boring housekeeping stuff and we can get started. So I will turn it over to Jack. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I will bring them up here in the classroom. It tends to go a little smoother if we do it that way. And so many seeds are here and seeds for taking home up here too if you'd like. So Jack, the camera is on you.
Is that thing on?
Would you like it to be?
Yeah.
I can do that. I'll set this down here. Sorry, everybody. Making you guys dizzy. They can see you now, but I'll get it set up here too.
Oh, I don't scare anyone.
You won't scare anyone.
I'm gonna wear my mask because I'm too old to catch that crap. And I'm not saying that anybody has it. It's better be safe than sorry.
So you can see what they're seeing, but Dave, feel free to walk up here when you feel safe and comfortable and check out what we've got. And oh no. Okay, they're still working. Okay, we're good to go. I don't know if you want to share. Do you want me to ask you any questions or just share the seeds?
Yeah, if you want to do it that way, and if anyone needs an explanation of what's what, or which one is which.
So these are the seeds that Jack brought.
You can put those papers over there.
Okay. So we have some beans. These are cantaloupe.
These are from Navajo, Dene heirloom cantaloupe seeds. This one here. This one here, I'm not sure. Oh, this is a glass gem. A Cherokee seed that was developed by deceased Carl Barnes. It was a big seed saver over the years. They had 2,000 different varieties of native corn, which are now being housed in Onondaga, New York. This one here is called, this is a strawberry popcorn. Oh, there's some beans under there too, but I don't remember which ones they were. Also 4, so I gotta be careful with them. These are a pole bean.
What do you do when there's only 4 seeds left? What's your
You
plan?
sure try to take care of them and then get some resupplied on them. Get more. If anyone has any questions, just feel free to ask. There was a white strawberry popcorn I had. And the red one, but the white one didn't grow. I don't know what happened. Sometimes your seed don't grow. They get too hot if you keep them by the stove or if you didn't take care of them good enough, you know, sometimes they just won't grow. These ones,
Geraldine is asking if you've grown the strawberry popcorn in
Yeah.
our climate.
yeah. Most of these seeds are acclimated to a 90-day growing season. I got corn that's from Acoma Pueblo, but I don't dare to grow it because it's a longer season. I don't have that. We don't have that season here. And then these seeds here, they're called Gate Kisawan, happy old squash. Supposedly these were found in an archaeological dig in Wisconsin in a clay pot. What do they call it when they
Like a dig.
no, yeah, it was an archaeological dig, but I'm trying to think of what they call it when they test them to see how old they are. That's slipped my mind.
Oh, like carbon dating?
That's it. These have been carbon dated to 800-year-old. When the people had found them in the clay pot, they grew these out. And I was able to get a hold of some of these from a friend of mine. They grow good. If I had my camera today or my phone, I'd show you the pictures of them, but they get big, almost 2 foot long, maybe 10 inches round, orange, real tasty with some brown sugar on them, baked. This one here, I've yet to grow these. These are called robin eggs. Your thing just
Too close.
kind of blurred. Yeah, a little farther maybe. There, right there. These are robin eggs. I got these from most of the stuff I got was given a little handful of stuff, and I've grown a lot of them to where I got more of a supply of them, you know. When you're a gardener and stuff, your first year, you should just be growing it to establish your seed base. And then go from there, you know, try to build up your seeds to more where you can grow more and then you have a better supply. This one here is a red seed watermelon, Potawatomi from Michigan. They grow about yay big, I don't know, about the size of a volleyball, but real tasty, a lot of seeds in them. Light green with dark stripes on them. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, this one here, this corn here. These two, I grew this one, but these are the original seeds I was given. Seneca Bear Dance. That's what these ones are, Seneca Bear Dance. 90-dayer. These were given to 6 people when I was in Akwesasne. I was invited to Akwesasne to speak to their youth about the importance of growing, being a gardener and growing. Of the 6 people that were given the seeds, I'm gonna brag a little bit. I was the only one that grew it out. And that's what they tell me over there. Surprise them. This corn here is a little farther.
Oops, sorry, I'm getting used to the camera, everybody.
This one here is a Red Lake Flint. As far as I knew, I was the only one that had this corn. It's similar to Bear Island, but it's different, still different.
And what's special about Red Lake Flint?
I don't know. I always tell everybody that we brought this with us on our journey, on our migration. I don't know that for a fact, but it seemed logical to me that if people were going to go somewhere else and they had these seeds, that they would take their seeds with them. That's what I think about it. I might be wrong. I've been wrong on a lot of things. This white one here, I believe, is it's a white corn. I believe that's a Tuscarora white corn out of the Iroquois Confederacy, Mohawk or Onondaga, Seneca. One of them, I'm not sure. But they're all affiliated with each other, Confederacy. They all help each other out. This one here, people might have seen that. That's the same as this one here. Rachel has. These are Hidatsa shield beans, they're called.
Yep, they're a bush bean. They're supposed to be tasty. I have some of those if you guys would like to take some.
I'll wait for them.
I got it muted now. There you go.
These beans come out of Akwesasne, Mohawk land. They're called skunk beans. I was gifted these by a friend of mine named Roger Cook. He was a big grower and stuff over the years. His father was, his whole family. Well, you will find a lot of the Mohawks that have all their original seeds, and are very protective of their seeds, as of which I am too. I just don't give them out to anybody. I'm afraid they'll get GMO'd, and either Monsanto, which is no longer Monsanto, but Bayer, will get a hold of them, and then they'll put a patent on them, and then you can't have them. They'll say you're infringing on their patent. Yeah. So that's the main reason why you keep your seeds away from certain people. I was gifted these last spring. These ones are called Painted Like a Horse. Can you see them?
Yeah, you're good. I'll move on.
They look like a paint horse. I believe they come out of either Kiowa area or Pawnee in Oklahoma. Most of these beans I haven't tried to eat yet because I'm just still trying to build up my inventory on them so that I can. These ones are kind of small. These are heirloom kidney beans.
Do you want to explain what an heirloom seed is in case someone doesn't know?
Heirloom seeds are seeds that have been protected all their lives and have never been mixed with anything. They're sacred seeds. You might as well call them. It's we don't want them to get in the wrong hands. So your heirloom seeds are seeds that have been passed down and taken care of for the last 200, 300, 400 years by different people. These ones here are what are called cranberry beans. I started these from, I don't know, I had 5 of them, but now that's how much I built it up to now, which isn't much. So I'll be planting these again this year in order to try to increase the volume of what I have.
Is it possible to grow all these beans in one area and they won't cross too much? Or Or do you pick one at a time, you know?
No, I've grown beans next to each other. I grow I'll get to those other ones here.
Mhm.
These are, I don't know the name of them. Hey, yuck, or something like that. I just don't know if that's these ones or those ones. They look like this. They're kind of odd shaped on the end, some of them. Look like these ones, but they're real small. These were given to me last spring and I grew them out. These ones are Potawatomi pole beans. Real pretty bean. I don't know which one it is that grows purple flowers. Then the other one grows orange flowers before they start making their seed. Here is the bear paw.
Beautiful. I
These
love
are-
these ones.
These are bear paw beans. I was given these by Angela Ferguson and Roger and them out of Onondaga, Akwesasne. Gifted me with a bunch of different kind of seeds. These are part of them here too. These are Seneca striped beans. Real hardy bean, real strong, big.
Yeah, those are really big.
But these ones were gifted to me last spring. These two here were grown out. That's what they come out to be. But I'll have to ask them what the name of them are because I don't have them
Mhm.
right offhand, but I will. These ones I just bought in a store. These are bush beans. I don't know their name.
What's the advantage of saving seeds versus going to buy seeds at the store? Like sometimes you buy them. So
Well,
what
the-
causes you to buy them or not buy them? Or what do you think when you buy or save?
I don't know whether they've been GMO'd or not. You eat your watermelon, stuff ain't got no seeds in there. They're GMO'd. They've been made to not give you no seeds so you can grow them, so that you got to come back and buy more. That's pretty much the bottom line on it. It's all about the almighty dollar on that, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyone has any questions, I'll try to answer before I move on to this other box here.
So how did you begin like collecting the seeds?
I've kept this Red Lake Flint for about 40 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. That came, I had it, my grandpa had it. We had it, my mother and my auntie and them, they had it. Then I had it, this passed down, but then it got lost in the shuffle there. And when I was in college and in service and all this, I wasn't doing this kind of stuff. Not until after I got out of college and had a place to stay where I could grow my corn. And my grand uncle, who lived to be 99, he was a big gardener. And before they moved him to a nursing home in Minneapolis, he pointed at this big cream can. And he said, why don't you take care of that cream can, that right there? I was thinking to myself, what the hell I need a cream can for? But I went over and opened it up. It was half full of Red Lake Flint. So that was how I kept on growing it, and that's how it came back to me.
Wow.
So how do you eat the red Lake Flint? You have to like grind it up?
This is the world's best hominy.
Okay.
That's what I make. That's what I grow my corn for, to make
Really?
hominy. Yeah. Which I which I sell out of the trunk of my car.
Okay,
And in here sometimes.
that's good. I'd like to try some.
Yeah, for those who might not know, like just kind of seed 101 is like, you have kind of like the big overarching species, like corn, Zea mays is the I don't know, botanical name. And then you end up with like all these different varieties. It's a lot like, I think the easiest way that for me to understand it sometimes is like dogs, all the dogs are one big family, but you get the different breeds. And the same thing happens with seeds. The same thing happens with farm animals, weird chickens and stuff. It's not perfectly like that. It's not a perfect allegory, but that's where you get like the strawberry popcorn it's popcorn. You like
Yeah.
make it on well, I don't know, Jack, you could tell me how to make it, but
It don't work good in the popper because it'll blow right out there. So you gotta figure out, do it the old fashioned way in a kettle with a cover on top of it.
yeah.
But it makes the best popcorn. That's what they say, Mine just blew all over the place and I got discouraged with it, Went back to Orville.
Don't tell me that. And then if you call something flint, is flint and hominy, is that the same? If a corn is a flint corn, does that mean it's a hominy corn? How does that work?
I think it's called like flint because after you dry it, it gets pretty hard, Each one of these seeds is a spirit, a living spirit locked up inside of these seeds. That's why I have respect for all the seeds that I have because I know they're alive. It's like a rock. People think a rock is just a rock. That rock is alive, You might not see it from the outside, but it's alive. It has to go with animate and inanimate stuff, I guess. But I know a person who see if a piece of corn is on the floor or drops, or they'll go pick it up. They'll go pick it up because they know what it is and that it, given the right care and work, it'll give you something. Each one of these seeds is capable of producing 300 to 500 seeds on your cob.
Geraldine says, I have cooked Red Lake Flint Harmony corn twice. It was delicious. Thanks, Jack. We really loved it.
I hope. Any other questions?
We can go through this one too if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna move on to this other box then.
But keep your questions coming. Anyone in the chat, anything seed related is fair game. And you guys too. I appreciate us doing this whole thing and yes, please. And I'll back up. We're trying to, we'll keep masks on and everything. Feel free to sit here or move.
This corn here was given from by a lady named Jerry Fisher in New York. This is I don't know if I believe it was white corn to begin with, but this has been parched. This is parched corn. And I don't know how they do this. If they put it in a barrel and put a fire under it, like parching rice or what, or if it's been dehydrated, I don't know. A lot of people are doing dehydration and stuff.
Mm.
I'm just not into that. Okay. Let's see.
They're just so beautiful. I love all the colors.
This red one here. This is given to me by a lady that works in Dream of Wild Health down in Hugo, Minnesota. She said it was labeled Red Lake. So I don't know. I've never seen Red Lake, Red Lake Flint corn. I've never seen it. So I'm kind of want to put this in this year. This corn I got from a person in Wisconsin. I don't know if it's a bagel or whole chunk or what. That was this one here. I've made hominy with it. It makes fairly good hominy. But they like to dehydrate their corn, and it gets only about half the size of this. And then I guess you can put it in water and rehydrate it, but I haven't really tried nothing with it.
We've got some comments. So here we have Michelle says, Bonjour, Jack. I am building up my garden soil. I've been gardening only 6 years now. Do you have recommendations for building up our soil naturally? I've grown corn successfully most years, but my soil is generally dry. So far, I build it up with compost and hand tilling. So how to build up that soil?
If you're able to get a hold of any stuff you brought over.
Fish cuts?
No, I won't use fish.
Um,
It's good. Fish is good, but I live out in the open where there's bears, and the bears smell that fish down there about 2 foot down and they'll come dig up all your corn. So I don't use that.
yeah.
Peat Bog.
Oh, yes.
If you can get a hold of some peat bog, millions of year old stuff that's dried swamp, and it just packs stuff in there every year, after it dies, and it get a foot thick, maybe 3 foot thick, but it's real rich. And then I did use cow manure one year. That worked good, but it was laying in a barn for 20 years, but it wasn't wet. So I had my best year that year where I had well over a foot. My ears, my the corn cobs were at least a foot long. And this all 8 rows. 8 rows is your heirloom corn. You get anything other than 8 rows in your corn, it's been mixed with something. Something got into it. Some corn might have been growing too close to it, and the pollen might have got a little bit in there. So you kind of will lose your heirloomness about it. 8 row. That's what you shoot for, is 8 row. I was gonna bring some today, but I spaced it out, and that and my phone.
I understand. She also says she's growing heirloom, and yeah, peat moss is the same as the bog. It comes from bogs. Yeah, those are the same. She's asking.
Yeah, that works good. And when the corn I grew, the Red Lake Flint, it liked brown sand, brown dirt. But when I grew it in black dirt, it didn't seem to grow as good, even though that's supposed to be the richest soil there is.
Right.
I don't know, maybe it was acclimated to the brown soil, the brown sandy soil, or what do you call clay and gravel.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where was I? Okay, this one's the heirloom sweet corn. This one come out of Onondaga, New York. This is 8 row sweet corn.
And 8 row means literally 8 rows around the cob, right?
Yeah, that's what tell you it's heirloom. Got UNK on this, so this one's unknown. Although it has a name, I do not want to know what the name is. Kind of looks like Nebraska corn, or from Winnebago or Macy. I'm not sure. This corn here, Onondaga yellow. The Onondagas and the Mohawks and Senecas, they say all their corn that they have, the red corn, yellow corn, blue corn, white corn, they all have a specific purpose. The red corn, they say, is for your blood. Helps with your blood. The yellow corn helps with your urinary tract. And I'm not sure what the blue and the yellow, no, the blue and the white were for. Over there out east, a lot of people, they call it corn soup, you know, and they were, what's hominy? Corn soup. That's just what we call our corn soup. We call it hominy. Oh, you mean hominy grits? I said, no, not no hominy grits. I said, you're a little too far south for me there. This one, I'm not sure. Another one that I lost the label on it. I haven't grown it. It's a nice looking corn. Might be Lenape. I'm out in the East Coast. I just don't know. You're gonna look at, you're gonna see what's called teosinte. This is where all corn came from. This is grown out by the Mayans, who are the corn people, of which we are the corn people too. If you don't understand, if you don't know. This teosinte, some of them will come out without no covering on them. But a lot of them, they'll come out and each seed is covered, similar to like a wild rice, where you have a covering on your wild rice. This will be like that. A lot of them will be encased in their own little hull and still be on that ear. This is the original corn though.
So like when we were talking about dogs, I guess that's kind of the wolf, right? The original.
This is Mohawk, Onondaga corn, Iroquois, whatever. This is white Iroquois, yellow Iroquois, blue Iroquois, and red Iroquois. These are tobacco seeds. I don't have the name for them. I had there's different names for different tobacco plants. Real, you could barely see the seed.
Yeah. We grew tobacco last year. It went really good. Oh, she says, oh, you found it. Okay, good. Sorry, she was looking up the corn.
Oh, yeah. These, I don't know, that might have stole, some company might have stole these and started making corn nuts out of them. These are, I'm not sure exactly where they come from. I don't know if they're out of Brazil or if they come out of Central America. These ones grow 15, 18 foot tall, this corn here. I have yet to try it because I don't know if I got enough season. Maybe if I put them in now and took care of them and transplanted them in middle May, end of May, maybe I'd see something. I wouldn't mind getting a few ears of these ones.
Those are really big. I asked him if they were actually nuts and he was like, no, they're corn.
This little package I got here, I'm gonna read this on there. I kept this on there. It said, obtained from an old man, Jesse Hill, who came to Onondaga. He had been growing this the last 50 years. He said, when I was a young man, a Seneca man from Tonawanda gave me the seed to keep growing it. The Seneca said, I'm too old now to grow. You need to keep on growing this now. Michael accepted the seed and gave it. We have been growing it 10 years. This 2017 growing season. Tanya, I can't pronounce that name, Galvin. That's what that one is. These are some pretty real old seeds too. That'll just about do it, I guess. And if anyone has any questions, I'll be willing to try to answer them. Or I don't consider myself a master gardener, it's just a title that people put upon themselves to make themselves look better than they actually are. I don't mean that. Some people know what I mean. Oh, this has come from this is Iroquois Tuscarora, it says white corn. I got this from a lady who teaches college over in University of Minnesota. Her name is Becky Webster. Her husband is Steve Webster. I'm not sure exactly where they live, but she gave me these seeds here. It says Iroquois white corn, Tuscarora. So I don't know if this is the same as Oneida or if this is a totally separate variety or what. I just don't know.
So which ones are you gonna grow this year? And how do you Oh
I haven't
no.
decided. I haven't decided what I'm gonna grow. Where'd you go? I could just throw them into that little.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
here,
No, the other one.
this one.
I think I'm gonna do the bear dance this year. Not literally, but plant the corn.
Why not both?
I might attract too many bears. They'll eat up my garden. I'm kind of like that lady that goes around picking up seeds. I don't want them to drop or I don't leave them anywhere.
Yeah.
Call me eccentric or call me crazy. It doesn't matter. I've been called everything in the book. Doesn't bother me.
What advice would you have for somebody who has no seeds? Like, how would you recommend someone get started? What's the proper way to approach somebody to get these seeds, or ask or be, I don't know. What would you tell somebody?
I had a few people from this program over here come over and told me I want some of those seeds. Yeah, well, I want to go to Happy Hunting Grounds. That doesn't guarantee I'm going to get there. There's a way to do things. The way that I was taught was offer the person some tobacco and perhaps he might let you have it. He's supposed to once you do that. But if you know the person to be crooked, you'll have probably second thoughts about it like I have so many times. A lot of them just want to get a hold of these seeds so they can grow them out and sell them to these seed catalogs. I don't know how much money they could make off of that or not, but I have seen seeds that weren't supposed to be in these seed catalogs. So, and our history is replete with sellouts. People who have sold out, whether it's their seeds or their jack pine or their white pine or their porcupine or whatever kind of pine you want to talk about, I'm starting to go off now, I'm just an old man. I'm
Jack.
68 years old this year, but you will see me in my garden all summer long. I always tell my woman, if the creator wants to take me, I hope he takes me while I'm in my garden. That's what I told her. And she knows that too. She don't help me to garden. She got enough work of her own. I'm a one-man garden person.
So do you accept help though? Like if I were to come, help you, but really learn from you?
Yeah, I would,
Okay.
I would do that. But there's not too many people that want to do work anymore. They got healthy thumbs. Let's put it that way. They got real healthy thumbs. That's just not my way, I don't get on Facebook. I don't do all of that. I don't catch 20 fish and put my picture in the Facebook and brag about it or nothing, I'll clean those fish, and then when I get done fishing, cleaning them, I'll take them down the road and I'll feed my animals. I'll feed my eagle. I'll feed my wolves, my coyotes, my foxes. Anything else that might be hungry this time of the year because it's hard on our brothers this time of year. Oh, the wolf thrives in this time. Yeah. And I'm a wolf person, although I'm not a wolf clan. I am closely tied to wolves. I see wolves all the time. Wolves come play around in front of me, 20, 30 feet away from me. You know, it's just funny how that works. But I guess I have their same spirit. That's the only thing I can figure out. Sound crazy?
No.
Well, I don't know if anyone has any questions, you know, I'll go off and say what I can about it.
So in the, for example, you said with one of the corn, it would have 500 seeds on the,
About 300.
okay.
Yeah,
So is it as easy as just like planting it and then taking those seeds and then you'd have 300 more?
pretty much you can build up your supply that way.
So like,
When you have a ear of corn, let's see,
You have that little
Let's say this-
strawberry one.
no, that's too small.
Oh, okay.
Let's say this is your ear of corn. Which way is it? Oh, there it is right there. This is your ear of corn. There's the back end, here's the top. Right in here is your seed in the middle here. Whatever you can wrap your hand around in the middle, that's your number one seed for your corn. And a lot of people that I deal with know this too, you know, they hadn't seen nobody else that knew that when I told them, this is where I take my seed from.
Yeah.
And then what's on the end here, I'll use that. And what's on the other end, I'll get that off later, and then I'll make some hominy with that. For a lot of times I can just use the whole ear if I have plenty of corn, which I haven't for the last few years. Now the climate change and everything is making it more difficult to grow. You heat it up too much, you don't have the water to put on them. And so I don't know what to expect this year again. I didn't get nothing last year. I don't know what happened. The seed don't come out of the ground.
Wow.
So this year, instead of planting 750 hills of corn with 3 pieces of corn in each and not getting nothing, I'm gonna plant a few in a little planter and make sure that they're alive yet. I think they got too close to the stove and got too warm in my little wood stove.
Mm.
So I'll test them out before I go do all that work. That was a lot of work and really disappointing. I did something wrong. That's all. Whenever I fail on things, I did something wrong. I didn't put my tobacco out. I didn't go dance around there. I didn't go sing. I didn't do nothing, you know. I couldn't do nothing last year, 100-degree weather, you know. You're asking to go on your journey kind of early. You want to work around that stuff. And the bugs won't let you work in the morning and they won't let you work in the evening, meaning the horse flies and the deer flies and that kind of, you know, impediment that you might get.
all right, so if you had just like one seed left, would it be pretty risky trying to plant it then? Or like if for this year, would that seed go to waste if there was just one left?
If you had one seed, when your corn grows and gets tall, you'll start getting ears coming out on there. I mean, this Red Lake Flint will only grow 5 foot tall, 6 at the most, not even that. But once it comes up, it starts making ears. Then it gets taller, then it make a tassel. Then on your ears, you'll start getting silk on your tassel, which has the pollen in it. This is the seed. This is the egg on that corn in the hair. And your tassels appear. Now, once your tassel opens and the pollen comes out there, it falls on that silk. Wherever it hits that silk, it'll travel down inside your corn and there will be one piece of corn growing there. That's how it works. When my corn is all silky, and when the pollen is ready, I'll walk through my garden like this with my arms out, or I'll go and shake all of them. I'll go shake them so the pollen will fall on that and what do you call it? Fertilize it. The hair is the female and the pollen is the male, and that's how they make babies. Yeah. Which-
I think
That's a way of explaining it, but
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
so. You could do it with just one seed,
Okay.
but like if
I'd say you
you,
could if
Yeah.
if you made sure that that
Uh-huh.
pollen hits
Okay.
hits that silk.
Right, okay, and then once all the other, what do they call cobs, with all the seeds on them, now you would have, turn one seed into,
Then,
Yeah.
if the pollen hit each one of those, the hair, the silk,
yeah,
Every
Then
cell
it-
needs to
yeah.
fertilize it.
and it'll travel down inside there, wherever that silk was growing from. That's where your one kernel of corn will grow.
oh, okay,
so it's like 300 different babies,
yeah.
but no two kernels. Well, they might be the same genetics, but they might not be the same genetics, right? Because you could have the pollen from one plant
Yeah. I was just
come
gonna-
down
yeah.
onto another plant, and they're like
Oh,
siblings.
yeah, that's how you get your variety, your mixture.
Right, that makes
If you
sense with like the
Yeah.
ones that have all the
If you-
different
If you
colors.
had some corn that you grew in 2008 and it was good seed, and you got another garden over here that you grew out in 2018. You'll take some of these seeds from 2008 and you'll put them with the 2018. As long as they're heirloom, you mix them back together to make them get stronger. They'll get stronger.
Yeah.
Whatever might have been in this one and whatever might not have been in this one and vice versa, then they'll get back.
Okay,
into each
yeah.
other. Yeah.
So you could essentially like start breeding your own type of seeds.
I frown on geneticists.
Yeah,
I frown on these geneticists who want to play creator. They want to believe that they can make something better than the creator. They want to try to play God or whatever it is. I don't know, weird scientists, mad scientists, or whatever the hell they think they are, I really frown on them. I won't have nothing to do with a geneticist.
but even unintentionally, you could do that, and so you'd have to be kind of cautious of where you're planting your corn.
You need to know what your corn is acclimated to. What is the growing season on your corn? You got 90 days or you got 120 days, depending on what part of the country you are. I knew down in Kansas, their corn was 130, 40 days. It was black and white, their corn.
Oh.
But I tried to grow it up here. It grew.
Hmm.
It grew 15 foot tall. We didn't have no ears. They didn't have enough time to grow any ears.
Oh, okay.
It didn't have no corn on it.
Oh, okay.
I laughed at my brother because he said, I'm taking my corn to the fair. He drove out the driveway with his little Ford Ranger and the tassel of the corn was dragging on the tar road.
Oh.
He got mad at me. He said, you knew that, didn't you? You knew that. And I said, no, I didn't know. I thought you were gonna have corn and everything, but that's when I start learning that it has to be acclimated to the area where you're trying to grow it.
Michelle has a question. She wants to know, do you plant one seed at a time, or how many seeds do you plant together?
When I plant my garden, I drag it. I got a 8-foot thing, and then my rows are wide enough to where I can get a tiller through there to keep all the weeds out of the middle. And then I'll drag it back the other way. And at each intersection, that's where I'll plant that. They might be 24 inches apart or something like that. But I'll put 3 seeds in there. 4 was always too many, so I went down to 3. I put 3 of them in that hill right there. Then I'll put them in maybe an inch and a little more than an inch, because once the birds see the corn coming out of the ground and everything, they'll go over there and peck at your corn until they get that piece of corn out of there, and then they kill your little shoot that came out. So you gotta plant it deeper than the crow's bill or deeper than the blackbird's bill, so he can't get in there.
Do you thin them? If all 3 of them
No,
germinate, you don't
no,
thin?
they're planted like this, about this far apart in a
Okay.
triangle, one in each corner. On top of that intersection.
Mhm.
I found that to be the best. If you try to grow it 3-4 inches apart, they're gonna crowd each other. And they're not gonna get the right nutrients or feed or whatever. They're just not gonna. Yeah, I don't, you see farmers fields, Chmokemon farmers, their corn is real close, but they put all these chemicals in there. And that's how come they can grow that like that. But what they don't tell you is that those chemicals are killing everything that's in the ground except that piece of corn. They're killing the web that's underneath there. Same way when you go cut all your trees, you're killing that community. Although you're just taking the trees, but you went in there and raped that whole piece of land. You killed all of the mushrooms, you killed all of the medicine plants. Huh, I'm starting to go off again. I better shut up.
Well, we got another question, so don't worry.
Everybody don't like what I'm saying. I'm just talking from experience. I have a little bit of knowledge. I just know a little bit. That's all I'll say. I just know a little bit.
Well, we asked you to come and bring your whole self, so no worries. Geraldine is wondering if you have a high tunnel or if you'd ever grow that 130 or 120 day corn in like a high tunnel. Or like, a greenhouse or something like that.
I had a chance to get a high tunnel, but I declined it at the end. And then I'm kind of glad I did, because with the way the winds are nowadays, I don't know if the high tunnel would hang in where I live. I'm out in the open.
It's true.
It'd blow away and it'd be more work for me. It'd really fall on all the plants that I had. So I declined to have a high tunnel. I don't want to discourage anybody from doing it. You have the protection, the trees and all that around your field, yeah, go for it. Plant those seeds right now if you think it's 120 days or 100 or more. Plant them now. Keep them in low planter. So, well, you can frost. You can frost the 1st of June around here. Hell, I've seen snow. I've seen it snow on the 1st of June, 6 inches of snow. I've seen that. So, but if you can get it in before the 1st of June, you got June, July, August. Your garden should be ready the 1st of September. Frost is the 15th of September. Sometimes you can go frost-free until the middle of October.
Like last
Or
year.
the end of October, but you can take a chance that that's going to happen. Generally, it's the middle of September here when you frost. That's all I could say about that.
It's not a bad idea. I've seen it done before.
And there's always been this question posed to me about, can you grow more than one corn in a garden? Hell yeah, you can grow more than one corn in one garden. Popcorn, you can grow that in any garden along any side of any corn, because because corn and popcorn will not mix. I grew Seneca bear dance on one part of my garden. I let it go for 2 weeks and I came back and planted my Red Lake Flint. Then I came back and I planted another one, which I think was supposed to have been Bear Island. Bear dance grew, Red Lake grew. Bear dance didn't make it because he didn't have enough time. He was the one that grew great big tall corn, but had no ears. The ears were bare. He didn't have enough time to finish his growth period, which I don't know how many days it was. As far as covering up your corn with the silk or covering up the top of your tassel, I don't know about that. They say they can do that, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to try it. I'd rather be vigilant and do 2 weeks apart. There's a time of the year when you're supposed to plant. All the stuff underground can go in early. Your carrots, potatoes, you can plant those first week, second week of May. Your corn though, there's a certain time of the moon when you're supposed to plant that corn that'll help it pull it out of the ground when the tide is right. I don't know if that's full moon or earlier. At a half or something. I'm not sure. I've tried both of them and I really didn't see much difference. So I'll just go by the weather. And, I take my chances. I guess I don't really follow the solar calendar nor the lunar calendar, of which a lot of people do. But that they have more knowledge. Like I said, I just know a little bit.
Have you ever done the Three Sisters?
I have many more seeds. I didn't bring my squashes, but I got a lot of different varieties of squash.
Okay.
I've tried it. I've been given different beans. But my squashes and stuff are on the outside of my garden to prevent raccoons from coming in there. I do not grow them all in that circle. They grow there in a circle. Corn around there. And they got a beam that'll climb up your corn stalk. Then you got your squashes all over the ground. I don't hardly use a three-sister garden. My main focus is to get my Red Lake Flint. That's my main focus for growing.
Okay.
But there will be tomatoes, carrots, peppers, cucumbers, squashes. You know, those will all be around there somewhere. But my main focus is to get my hominy corn. And if I can get that, at one time here, 2012, there was 5,000 ears of corn hanging up in my garage. That was a good year. That was the best year I ever had. Just picture that 5,000. You couldn't even walk in there because they were hanging all over. But there was 5,000 ears of Red Lake Flint hanging, drying. 1st of September, they were hung up. 1st of November, they were dry and they were ready to be processed into hominy corn. I'm running out of talk too much.
I did a Three Sisters garden last year and I was totally following just teachings that I have heard, and we did a circle actually. So we did corn in the middle of the circle and then beans along the circle on the outside and then squash on the outside of that. And the squash is like a big like covering of the ground and it worked beautifully. They really do love each other, those three.
Yeah.
I've seen really good results with that.
There's a thing, I'll add a little bit here. I haven't really tried it. You know, there's a plant. It's called, I think it's called maple. Maple. Pole. It's a leafy plant. And you get that, it's poisonous to people. But if you take and put that in water, and I don't know if you have to boil it or not, but then after you got the mixture, then you put your seeds in there. And doing that will protect your seeds from any insects or anything else because they know it's poison. They won't mess with your seeds once you put them in the ground. Birds, whatever, you know, earthworms, I don't think they really do much. They do more good than they do harm. But I'm pretty sure that I know what the plant looks like, you know, I've seen it around here. That's why I've seen some people do their corn was to protect it. Once it was in the ground, I don't know if that protected it from bears and from anything else, but it was kind of fascinating to learn that. I am affiliated with a program called Braiding the Sacred, which they took me in with them, the Onondaga, Seneca and Mohawk and stuff, you know. And we haven't had no meetings due to COVID and all this, but hopefully I'm looking that we might possibly be able to do something this summer.
Ooh.
And like I said, that late in Onondaga, the lady Angela Ferguson, she has Carl Barnes's collection of 2,000 varieties of native corn from all over the country, and probably from down South America and Mexico. And they took me under their wing, and that's right, you know. When they came to Red Lake to do a food sovereignty thing, was the first time I met them. And I was trying to sell some rice. I had 10 pounds of fresh rice. I seen there somebody selling their rice for 12 bucks a pound, but mine was, and theirs were old because you could tell it was dusty. I want to go take my 10 pounds. I just finished yesterday and got it clean. I'm going to sell mine for 12 bucks too. As I was going in the door, I met Roger Cook and he said, "What you got in the bag?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to sell my rice." "Oh, let me look at it." And he looked at it, he said, "I'll give you 8 bucks a pound." Shit, you're out of here. I told him, you know, I'm going in here and get 12 bucks a pound. Then he finally broke down, you know, he was trying to hustle me. I was trying to hustle him. But he ended up buying that 10 pounds of rice from me. And that's when I went and showed him that I had a coffee can full of Red Lake Flint. And he looked at it, eyes got all big. He said, "Where'd you get that from?" I said, "I grow this." He said, "You stay here, wait right here." He ran back in the building and we got all cooked. I think they were cooking over there at the Nation College. Pretty soon they all come running out there. Those 5 ladies along with him. They all come running out of the building over to see that corn because they'd never seen that before. That was when I gifted that coffee can to Angela. Coffee can full of corn. And that's when they gave me a whole bunch of these seeds. They had jar full in the back seat, in the back of their van. And, "What do you want? Which one do you want?" You know. So that's how I got to know these people. And they've taken me to New York about 4 or 5 times now. Flew me out, put me up, you know, had good times. Nothing but traditional food being served for 3-4 days. Then I spoke a couple different times to the youth and stuff about the importance of growing gardens. I have not done that around here, you know. I just don't want to sometimes somebody's wasting your time, so. But if there's anybody out there that wants, I'll help them, you know, no need to do nothing. Maybe come work in the garden. The best way to learn how to do a garden is to get your ass out there and work in it. You know? A lot of people can talk. Talk is cheap. You know? I don't like that. Get the hell out of here. You know? You're just full of shit.
Oh, Jack.
I get a little, what do you call, a little colorful once in a while. You know? I'm Red Laker, we swear with the best of them.
Love it.
If there's any more questions, you know, just throw them out there. I'll try to answer what I can.
All right, I got another question if there's none in the chat box.
Really quick, just that Geraldine says that if you need any help planting this year, just contact us because we have all these trainees and they'd be willing to help you. So that's what Geraldine says. You remember her? I think you gave her some seed. Yeah, she's been saving it. So, all right. Sorry. Do you have a question?
Okay, so have you ever worked on a river garden? Have you ever heard of those?
No, I never had.
Oh, okay. I just heard that was one of our, for the Ojibwe people anyway, one of our ways of doing like permaculture, sustainable. And apparently we learned it from the Aztec. And so this was something because, so I work for Leech Lake. And we don't have really good farmland. And if we do, it's owned by Chinooks. And so, you know, it's difficult for us to start like a big garden. So I'm part of this food sovereignty committee. And we don't even have food to give, you know, to these programs that feed people, at least our own. And so it's been my goal to try to get that started. And the issue we can run into is like, we don't have like the best land to start a large. And so in my journey of trying to figure out what I should do, I came across the idea of starting a river garden. And this is something that we've practiced, I guess, pre-contact. And since then we haven't been, but so I was just wondering, I'm just trying to get like information because we have, you know, the Chippewa National Forest, we have a ton of rivers. So I'm just trying to get any information really. And even in like the books, I can't really find too much on river gardens, but even starting with traditional seeds. You know,
It makes sense because at one time those rivers would have been more massive than they are now, and all that sediment and all the nutrients and everything that a plant, a seed would need would be in that soil.
Right.
But the best thing that I found right now is peat bog. Yeah, peat bog, black. It's like if you, out west, I live way the hell out west here, and there's a lot of peat bogs around here. If those start on fire, they can burn and burn and burn for years because there's so much peat under there. There's a bunch of lakes off of the river road. There's about 5, 6 of them. Those are all caused from a peat bog fire back in the 30s. And all of those, they're big. They're half a mile, almost 3/4 mile. They burn for years. But now after they burned, then all the water went in there. So now there's lakes there. 5, 6 lakes in Muskogee. Oh, I can't think of all the names. They're on the map. They're just south of the river road or north of the river road. Do you know Jeff Harper?
Yes, that's actually Michelle's husband.
Oh,
She was
is
just
that?
on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I didn't
She
know
does
that. I was
make-
going to try to call him earlier today, but I
Oh,
asked my phone. I forgot my phone. So you see how important my phone is to me.
it's good to leave it behind every once in a while.
Yeah, her husband was the one that I gave those seeds to, and that's the ones his didn't
Oh.
grow, mine didn't grow. I gave him
Hmm.
half a coffee cup full of Red Lake Flint. He only got maybe 20 out of all of that. I might have had 10. So I don't know what happened. But I'm gonna try to remedy that this year by starting off some of those seeds. I had some Red Lake seed that's 30 years old.
Oh.
I haven't even dug that out. I should dig some of that out and mix it with some of the stuff. So do that
Yeah.
thing, you know, that I was telling you.
Gary, I think, is a little bit confused. So Gary says, you're only planting 8 rows of corn. Can you explain it for pollinating or for what? I think he's confused. I think he thinks 8-row corn is literally planted in 8 rows instead of the 8 rows on
No,
the.
I had oh geez, 21 rows last year by 26 rows. And they were all that spaced out with that marker. It was 26 by 21. I figured it out. It was 750 hills with 3. So there should have been at least 2,200 ears or 2,200 stalks coming out. And 2,200 stalks would have made at least 4,500 good ears with one short one. The short one is left for the animals and the birds that are coming through, going on their journey. So you feed the animals too out of your garden. That's what I feed the animals is I'll take the 2 longest, and the 3rd one is usually the one that gets left. Blue jay, birds coming by, blackbirds, whatever wants. That's what it's for. Raccoons will come in there and take the majority of it, usually, as they always do. Deer will come in there and take some of that too. But the eight that I'm talking about that might be confusing you is on the ear of corn itself. 8 rows all the way around there. 4 on one half of it, 4 more on the other half. Totaling 8 rows of corn per cob. That's what I'm talking about on that. All right.
Cool.
Just so you don't end up planting 8 rows only. The more the merrier, I think. You know, you want as much corn as you can get, because there was I'll tell you a little story I was told when I was young. It must happen in, I don't know, 20s or 30s. There was people in Leech Lake were eating too much wild rice because they didn't have much of anything else. And the Red Lakers didn't have no rice. They had the corn. So they went and did the trade. They traded the Red Lake corn for the wild rice because we don't have no rice lakes around it. And in turn, you know, it was an exchange. And that helped to get the Cass Lake people through that winter and the Red Lake people through that winter. But you can get sick from eating a certain food too much. You know, you gotta have some variety. That was a story I was told by my auntie. And she knew a lot. You know.
When did she say that happened?
I don't know if it was in the 20s or 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have been. I'm thinking it could have been the 30s when we had all of that. What do you call? It was a big. What was that called?
The Great Depression.
Yeah, it might have been that time. I'm just not sure. She didn't say the year, and she just gave me the history on it. You know, and didn't have some numbers.
That's a cool story.
Mhm. I don't know if anybody else knows that, or if it just might. Well, he's just bullshitting. All right. There's a time for bullshit, and there's time for being honest. You know, and that bullshit's only for with your friends. You know, you get a big guffaw. You know what a guffaw is? You know what a guffaw is?
It's a big laugh.
A hearty laugh. That ain't really your laugh.
Okay.
I also, I'll talk a little more. I also do rice. I was taught how to do rice. I was taught how to rice when I was a young kid. I was taught how to finish rice. I do that now. I've been doing that for 45 years too. I was taught how to hunt. My freezer's full of deer meat because I know how to hunt. And I don't use a spotlight. I'm a traditional hunter, and I can't use a bow because my arms are all shot. With my Macawi, ooh, deadly with my dirty 30, you know. I'll take my 2-3 deer every year. And I'm a fisherman, commercial fish for many years. Now I just fish by hand. And I taught my grandson teaching him all of this. Because of these uncertain times and your food and inflation hitting and $10 a gallon, $5 a gallon, pound of hamburger, $6-10 a pound. You need to start doing this to prepare your people. And that's how I was taught. And that come from the grading the sacred, because they got their stores are 7 years. They can feed their people with what they've stored up. They can feed them for the next 7 years in case there's a chaos or a disaster or anything. But they can feed everyone in their tribe. That's what hopefully we need to do someday.
And that's just what they got now. Like as they grow, they'll still
Yeah.
get more, right? Yeah.
And they supply all the whole reservation, all the elder people, and take care of them, moose meat, deer meat, buffalo. They give them all of that stuff. So they're way ahead of everybody.
Work to be done.
Mhm. And this is the importance of why I do my seeds and stuff, you know. I'm not a hoarder or nothing. I'll make it through. If shit hits if the fit hits the shan, I'll be able to provide. About 30-40 pounds of rice on hand all the time that I will not sell. That's for my own use. So I resupply in the fall, then I can, you know, think about, oh, they might need some. I supplied over the years. I give to wakes and funerals. I'll give them rice when I know that they had an unexpected death in their family. I'll give them hominy to help them feed the people that are going to be at these wakes and stuff and funerals. I haven't been able to do much of that because I don't have the resources right now, but that's what I did over the years. I still do it somewhat. That's my giving thanks to the Creator for giving all this to me. And you got to share what you're given. You can't take it with you. It's like all your money you might have in the bank. What are you going to do? You're going to get buried in your car, and I'm going to throw all the money in your car with you, and that's the only damn way you're going to take it with you, huh? I'm done. Me too.
All right, you heard the man.
I'll answer the question if anybody has it. No hurry. I do got a jackpot, and I'm gonna go buzz up here. I'm gonna get more work done today than this.
All right. Well, thank you everyone who was online, and we'll see you next time.
5 o'clock, I'll be like that, or 5:30, I'll be like that. My